Fiber is absolutely critical to your gains, your health, and your fitness. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. I thought I would chat with you guys and gals a little bit about this today, but a quick reminder, if you guys will please click like down below, be greatly appreciated. If you're not subscribed or following, please do so, and if you'll be kind enough to drop me a comment down below with your thoughts on any of this, I'll be happy to hear it. But this is again one of these things that it's normally counterintuitive, but we only very recently have certain movements of people online in fitness who are saying fiber is bad, fiber is the problem. We need to be clear on this though. The overwhelming, and I mean absolutely enormous, overwhelming amount of data around the world shows that generally speaking, the more fiber that we eat, the healthier we are, okay? And their only upper threshold to that tend to do with your individual tolerance that you've built up to over time. But I want to discuss in here a little bit of the reasons we would want to do this and why it's helpful to everything from muscle growth to fat loss to reducing cancer and everything else. Literally enough fiber offsets a lot of the negatives of various things we see as bad food. Like with enough fiber, you can almost counteract most of the negative effects of things that we're concerned about in our food just in general, ranging from refined sugars to saturated fat. So the whole point here, though, is that you see a lot of people who have these movements due to carnivore, due to other things. And what people are forgetting, there are people out here who can't handle fiber because they have destroyed their body. Okay, so we need to be clear, people who are struggling with fiber and have a lot of these IBS and other issues, it's oftentimes, and despite genetic components, you can build and heal some of this stuff up because your goal should be to add more fiber to your diet. But oftentimes you're seeing people who have GI tract problems because they've destroyed their gut health already and they don't have a healthy gut, so then they're struggling with handling fiber and they're going to have to build it back up and reintroduce it gradually. But instead they go this route of, well, I'm just going to avoid it and do this low fiber or fiber-free diet, right? That's going to be a problem in the long term. And the reason these people have issues is because they've damaged their body, they've abused their body, and now they're struggling with fiber. But it's like, eating a really low fiber diet, right? Eating a diet with too much of bad fats in it, so that again, you're not getting a healthy gut flora. There's no fiber in there. You're flushing out the stuff that you want. People who consume alcohol regularly, all these things that damage your gut health, that reduce gut flora diversity, not eating fruits and vegetables, right? They've created a problem to where they have an unhealthy gut. They have very low gut flora diversity. They don't have enough healthy bacteria, both in quantity or quantity, right? So they don't have enough diversity of them or anything else. And this affects everything else in your life, where they poison them off with alcohol and other stuff. All right. So when you think about that, you have to understand this affects everything. Like it literally even affects your mental health. It affects your immune system. So anyone who's continuing to do a low fiber diet, they are going to have immune system problems from it. They're going to have mental problems. They're going to have problems with the neurotransmitters of your brain. This is what the emerging data shows on a healthy gut flora, right? It affects all these things. It is so critical to our overall health, and data just keeps coming out all over the world in all these different areas. Everything from your immune system to your neurotransmitters of your brain are enormously affected by it. So people who are not eating enough fiber, they're not getting this. And what we look at as fiber intakes go up, both soluble and insoluble, because they play different roles, are all these things improve. And so we mean even your immune system improves, your ability to recover improves, your metabolic health improves, okay? Now that's going to matter in terms of insulin sensitivity. So let's discuss that insulin sensitivity for a moment. The more fiber you eat, the better your insulin sensitivity is, both because of the way we process glucose and then the metabolic effects of it, of what happens with the fermentation in your gut health. All right, so improved insulin sensitivity. So again, guys are like, oh, I'm struggling to gain muscle. Well, if you have better insulin sensitivity, your nutrient partitioning is going to be better anyway. So your muscles are going to get a better anabolic stimulus from everything you eat. So I always try to tell guys, look, if you eat a really high fiber, clean diet, you can recomp pretty effectively. And if you're getting better insulin sensitivity, you're getting better anabolic responses from everything you eat already. And this kind of starts to remove the idea of needing to bulk. Just eat healthy, eat a high fiber diet, make sure you got plenty of carbohydrates, you don't really even need to be thinking in terms of calorie surpluses. So when guys are like, well, I ate too much fiber, it's hard to overeat. But do you need to overeat? Like how, if you're already really shredded, I get it. But if you're not shredded to the bone, this is not a factor, right? You may not need to gain significant weight at all to make maximum muscle growth. So focus on things like improving all that health and metabolic capacity or insulin sensitivity. You're going to make better gains anyways, even at the same calorie intake. Okay? So the same thing you think in terms of the metabolic health of it, the immune system. Look, you're going to make better gains in the gym if you have a healthier immune system and you get less sick and you recover faster. Okay? So all of this matters, but then let's talk about all the other, so that's your gains. How about the fat loss? This one's obvious. Better satiety, better control of your appetite, better insulin sensitivity. It's going to make losing body fat dramatically easier. Fiber, fiber, fiber. Fiber is your friend. Okay? And then we look at all the health stuff. I mean, people are over here worried about, anti-nutrients and things blocking absorption. This is not an issue, one, if you're cooking your food. Two, if you're eating enough whole foods, it doesn't matter. Like if you guys look at a lot of what I eat, I put up screenshots of just my vegetables before any of my animal proteins are added in, or supplements, and it's like some of my vitamins and minerals are 3, 4, 5, 6 times the RDA, just from eating the whole foods. Okay? Do you really care that you have a 20% reduced absorption when you're eating 5 times the optimal amount? You're fine. This is nonsense. Like, so in this context, it doesn't even make sense, and the data doesn't support that. So I always tell guys, if the fiber and all these anti-nutrients were a problem, we would see it appear in the epidemiology. People who eat lots of fiber and whole foods would be living less long. They would have less disease, or they would have more disease. But that's not what we see. We see the most disease, we see the most obesity, heart attacks, cancer, diabetes from people who eat the lowest fibers. It's the exact reverse of what your predicted model would be. We would see it appear, we would see health problems in these populations. We don't. Instead, what we see is an inverse correlation, right, between all-cause mortality and fiber intake. People who eat more fiber just in general, with no real upper threshold, it's going to be obviously a diminished return, have less heart disease, they have less diabetes, they have less cancer, they have less obesity across the board, right? Increased fiber intakes are linked to better health in every single aspect. All of those things plus your immune system just getting less sick. You're going to be healthier, feel better, you're going to live longer, you're going to have higher quality of life. Okay? And then as far as the muscle growth, we kind of broke that down. Just the improved insulin sensitivity, better metabolic health, you're going to gain muscle easier.